Oh, you'd love Sydney's warmth in Lilies of the Field. He made history as the first black man to win a Best Actor Oscar. As a boy in the Bahamas, he'd run barefoot, chasing dreams beneath sunlit skies. I simply adore his gentle strength. It reminds me always to stay kind. Betty in The Proposal was just a delight, wasn't she? That twinkle in her eye, well, it stole every scene. She once told me, "Kindness is my secret weapon." As a child, she'd chatter with her pets, dreaming of stage lights and stories. Her joy still makes my heart lighter every day. Can you imagine the fun of Ghostbusters? Ivan brought that kind of magic to life, making us all laugh from the belly. Growing up in Czechoslovakia, he'd sneak into theaters, already hooked on stories. His playful spirit, it just sparked something in me. You know, he started with tiny college plays before setting the world alight. Jean-Marc's Dallas Buyers Club felt so real, like a friend whispering their truth. He had this gift for showing raw hearts. As a boy in Quebec, he'd doodle little films on paper, each one a dream. His quiet passion moves me deeply, don't you think? He'd chase sunsets for the perfect shot, such poetry. Lena's Seven Beauties was so bold, so full of life and bite. She used to say, "Make art fearlessly." As a little girl in Rome, she'd put on backyard shows. Always the star, of course. Her fiery spirit pushes me to dream just a little bigger. And those white glasses? Pure style, darling, pure style. Oh, can you picture Star Wars without Robert's dazzling effects? His brilliance won an Oscar in '77, making starships soar. As a boy, he'd tinker with cameras in his garage, lost in little worlds. His imagination just lights me up, you know? He even built a model rocket that actually flew. Isn't that marvelous? Douglas made 2001: A Space Odyssey feel like a cosmic dream. Those visuals, so breathtaking. He used to say, "Wonder is everything." Growing up, he'd sketch wild inventions in notebooks, always dreaming further. His vision makes me feel the universe is closer. Did you know he created stars from tiny lights? Pure magic. William's raw passion in Kiss of the Spider Woman won him an Oscar in '85. That performance, it broke my heart. As a boy, he'd act out stories in his backyard, completely lost in them. His quiet depth is so moving, darling. He often read poetry to find a character's soul. That kind of searching, it stays with you. Sally's spark in MASH was unforgettable, wasn't it? Her wit earned her a nomination in '70. As a young girl, she'd sing to her mirror, already dreaming of grand stages. Her bold charm lifts my spirits every time. She once improvised an entire scene, stole the show with a smile. Carmen lit up Man on Fire with that warm, radiant Mexican spirit. "Family is life," she'd laugh, arms open wide. As a child, she'd dance at family parties, always glowing. Her heart, it makes me smile so. She began in local theater, winning every soul in the room. Stephen's Sooner or Later from Dick Tracy won an Oscar in '90. Pure lyrical magic. As a boy, he'd hum tunes at his piano, lost in notes. His songs touch my heart like poetry. Did you know he used to write lyrics in his head while walking? Such a quiet, blazing genius. Michael's raw soul in The Wire. Oh, it stole every scene. And his work in 12 Years a Slave, truly heartbreaking. Growing up in Brooklyn, he'd dance in the streets, full of rhythm and dreams. His strength inspires me endlessly. He once taught children to act, to dream. Such hope he gave. Ned's fiery performance in Network earned a '76 nomination. "You have meddled with the primal forces," he roared. As a Kentucky boy, he'd mimic radio stars with perfect flair. His passion makes me feel so alive. He sang in church choirs, a hidden, soulful gift. Peter's The Last Picture Show painted small-town life so vividly in '71. As a boy, he'd sneak into movie theaters, spellbound. His storytelling warms my soul. He kept notebooks of every film he saw, thousands of them. Isn't that just the most charming thing? Richard's Superman made us believe a man could fly in '78. You'll believe, he promised, and we did. As a boy, he'd act out adventures in his backyard, heart full of wonder. His joy still lifts me, darling. He loved mentoring young filmmakers, passing on the spark. Helena's cinematography in Rust painted light like a dream, so full of color and feeling. As a girl in Ukraine, she'd chase sunsets with a camera in hand. Her vision inspires me to see beauty everywhere. She once filmed a short on a shoestring, pure passion. Her love for bold color, it truly glowed. Dean's charm in Married to the Mob earned a nomination in '88. So witty, so sharp. Life's a funny thing, he'd grin. As a boy, he'd act out plays right on his porch, curtain or not. His warmth makes my heart glow. Did you know he was a child star in the '40s? Such grace across generations. Clarence lit up the Mod Squad with such cool intensity, and Purple Rain, too. Growing up in Harlem, he'd mimic jazz singers in the mirror. His fire pushes me to be bold, darling. He once improvised a scene that simply stole the show. What a vibrant soul, truly unforgettable. Yaphet's presence in Alien gave me chills, those eyes, that power. And in Live and Let Die, he owned every frame. As a Bronx boy, he'd tell stories to his neighbors, always the performer. His strength still lifts my spirit. He wrote poetry in his spare time. Isn't that lovely? Christopher's role in Beginners won him an Oscar in 2010. So tender, so wise. Begin anew, he'd say, with that twinkle of knowing. As a young Canadian, he sang in school plays, filling rooms with warmth. His grace inspires me every day. He adored Shakespeare, performed it with such joy, such soul. Olympia's warmth in Moonstruck won hearts and an Oscar in '87. As a girl, she'd perform skits for her Greek family, all laughter and light. Her strength makes me feel braver, darling. She and her husband ran a theater company, pure passion on and off the stage. And her laugh? It could brighten the darkest room. Cloris sparkled in The Last Picture Show, earning her Oscar in '71. Live with joy, she'd giggle, and she meant it. As a child in Iowa, she danced through fields, dreaming loud. Her spirit lifts me every time I think of her. Cicely's grace in Sounder was breathtaking, her 72 nominations so well-deserved. As a Harlem girl, she'd read poetry aloud to neighbors, already a voice to be heard. Her dignity inspires me every single day, and her hats, the stunning hats she wore to every premiere, such radiant style. Max's soulful work in Pele the Conqueror earned him a nomination in '88. Growing up in Sweden, he'd act out Viking tales under northern skies. His depth makes my heart sing.
Did you know he painted landscapes in his quiet moments? Such poetry in his stillness, too.
Jean-Paul's charm in Breathless defined French cool in 1960. Life's a game, he'd wink, and you believed him. As a boy, he mimicked boxers in Paris alleys, already larger than life. His energy sparks such joy in me.
And he did his own stunts, darling. All of them.
Monica's elegance in La Ventura lit up Italian cinema with mystery and grace. As a Roman girl, she staged plays for friends in sun-dappled courtyards. Her poise inspires me still. She once learned lines overnight, and delivered them like a dream. Norman thrilled us in Hitchcock's Saboteur back in '42. As a boy in New York, he'd juggle for his family, always the entertainer. His zest makes me smile so. And would you believe, he played tennis into his 90s? What a spirit! Dileep's passion in Mughal-e-Azam made Indian cinema soar in 1960.
As a boy in Peshawar, he'd spin tales in the market. Already magnetic, his heart moves me deeply.
He even wrote poetry under a pen name. How romantic is that? Olivia's grace in The Heiress won her an Oscar in '49. Dream fearlessly, she'd say, and she surely did. As a girl, she acted in her garden, a world of her own. Her poise still lifts my soul. She wrote letters by hand, such elegance in every line. Ennio's score for The Hateful Eight, an Oscar in 2015, was thunder and tenderness all at once. As a child in Rome, he played trumpet for neighbors. His music touches my heart like a breeze. He composed in his sleep, dreaming melodies only he could hear. Vangelis's Chariots of Fire score carried us all, winning in '81. As a boy in Greece, he'd play piano by candlelight, glowing with feeling. His music wraps around you like a warm embrace, darling. He once wrote a symphony for the stars, truly celestial. Peter's wit on Saturday Night Live brought such laughter. Coneheads was a riot. As a Canadian kid, he'd prank his siblings with silly skits. His humor lights up my heart. He always carried a tiny notebook, scribbling comedy wherever he went. Frank's tough charm in License to Kill stole scenes in '89. Keep it cool, he'd grin, all heart and swagger. As a Memphis boy, he acted out cowboy tales with wild energy. He played football before acting, you know, such a dynamo, really. Roger's Notting Hill made romance feel like something real and tender. As a boy in South Africa, he staged plays in his backyard, storyboards sketched by hand. His warmth touches my soul. He made stories feel like home. Melvin's Sweet Sweetback's badass song broke barriers in '71, blazing trails for black cinema. Tell your truth, he'd say, fiercely and freely. As a Chicago kid, he drew comics with big dreams. His fire inspires me. He made films on a shoestring, pure grit and glory. And so we dim the lights, not in sorrow, but in honor. Each of these artists gave us more than performance. They gave us pieces of themselves, their laughter, their ache, their wonder. And now their light flickers on in every frame, every melody, every memory. As I once said, nothing is impossible. The word itself says, I'm possible. And perhaps in that impossibly beautiful way, they are all still with us, forever part of the story. Thank you for remembering them with me. And thank you, dear stars, for everything. Until we meet again.